You can applaud anytime during this. It's kind of like stand-up. It helps feed the candidate. My name is Adrian Ocegueda. I am the candidate for governor. My website is texasreason.com. Let me give you a little information about myself as a new candidate to the state. I have my undergraduate degree in political economy with a minor in African American Studies from Princeton University, and I have my MBA from SMU. After college, I went back to my hometown of El Paso, Texas, and ran for an office, ran against John Cook, who later ran against P. Bush for Texas Land Commissioner. Lost, but I did work in economic development. Got a reputation in the city and ended up working for Mayor of El Paso for 2 years. We were the largest city to convert from a strong mayor form of government to a city manager form of government. We're also the largest net gainer in our base realignment and closure process with Fort Bliss. After that, I decided to go get my MBA. I did that largely because I knew that certain people that understood business had access to government, and those that didn't necessarily understand business that well had a little bit less access to government. So I went and pursued my MBA, and I graduated #1 in my cohort. And I've been working in private equity since. For those that don't know what private equity is, you get a large pool of money and you invest it in private companies rather than investing it in the stock market. I am married to my wife, Adrian, and I have a 17-year-old daughter and a 13-year-old son. I am 43 years old. I like to tell people that because I was blessed with this beautiful baby face. So why am I running? The big push is structural change. This is my big push. I think a lot of other candidates, we talk about the constraints, things that we don't like about the Republican Party and things that we want to fight for. We have a Democratic platform that pretty much labels what we normally fight for as Democrats. I think my obsession is the question of how, and does our system allow us to do what we want to get done? This big how is a big part of why I believe in structural change. So let me give you a few examples. In the short term, we can do what has normally been done in our budgets with shell games. So if it comes to public education or foster care program or a lot of these things, we play this shell game where we get a temporary solution set in a budget to allocate it towards some problem that seems to be pressing at the time, whether that be infrastructure, roads, construction, education. We play this shell game where we move the budget over in this. That's a non-sustainable prospect long-term. To me, the long-term prospect for all of these problems are going to require structural change. So when I talk about structural change, let me give you an example. Structural change would be how are you changing the structure so that we can figure out whether or not it's sustainable. Maybe a good example would be retirement funds, right? If Texans don't have access to retirement funds, and a lot of Texans they don't have the savings to have consumption in period 2. So you should think of your lives as consuming in period 1 where you're employed, and then of second period where you're consuming in retirement. Well, what we know is that a lot of Texans don't have that second period. They don't have a lot of savings lined up for consumption in period 2. Now this is a structural change even for those that respect and like the Republican Party, even for those that are greed-oriented corporate folks. What they need is consumption to happen in period 2. They need consumption to happen throughout the entire period. And why they need that is if there's no consumption, then they don't make profits. And this is a structural argument that I think our party can and should make. And it's an argument that I feel that we have to make for the long term. It's the party that addresses structural change, not only just wins this election, but wins multiple elections from here on out. Another issue that I talk about that is of concern is artificial intelligence and technology-enabled displacement. I talk about this because we know that there are self-driving cars that are going to hit the market in 2 years. We also know that Elon Musk introduced an all-electric 18-wheeler. If you put the artificial intelligence self-driving car inside of the 18-wheeler, that's a huge displacement of our 18-wheeler driving force. It also means a shift in insurance. It means a shift of our police force. All of these are very large structural issues. And my candidacy is the one candidacy in this race that is not afraid to tackle these. I'll attack income tax. These are the big structural changes that I think we're going to have to address for not just this generation, but for future generations. 47%, I'll leave you with this, 47% of Republicans no longer identify with the Republican Party. 50% of Democrats no longer identify with the Democratic Party. And if you go down to millennials, well, that's a 60% of millennials who don't actually identify with either party. My name is Adrian Ocegueda. I'm a candidate running for governor. I hope you'll consider me. Again, structural change is my big push. Thank you very much. TexasReason.com. Thank you.